welcome back to the Immigration Answer Show. My name is Jim Hacking. This is episode number 355 of the show. I'll be here for the next hour or so answering as many of your immigration law related questions as I can. I hope you all had a good weekend, that you're having a good weekend, that your Sunday's off to a good start. Had fun on the show yesterday. We had almost tornadoes here in St. Louis yesterday, so it was sort of crazy. I haven't looked at the news, but I think people are okay. It was crazy driving home from North softball. The skies were green and it was pouring down rain and the tornado sirens were going off. My phone was going crazy. It was something to behold. So I put the link to the waiting room in the chat. If you want to join in, feel free. Looks like the waiting room is actually already full. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with Devendra. Hi, Devendra.
Hi, Mr. Jim. How are you?
Great. How are you doing?
Good. I have two questions for you. I don't know how you can help me with that. Quick background. So my I-130 got approved. I'm in removal proceeding based on asylum. My I-130 got approved. My wife, marriage-based green card. I'm a spouse of a U.S. citizen. And I contacted my lawyer, and she told me that the chief counsel um, agreed to join into the motion to dismiss, and she gonna send the motion to terminate to the judge now. I've been contacted her for like 2 weeks in a row. Um, Email, calling, no answer, and I would like to know if how can I address that, and secondly, if I can represent myself, like file the motion to terminate myself and represent myself in front of the judge.
Why wouldn't you let your lawyer do it?
I've been reaching out to her. I couldn't get a hold of
So
her.
the
No,
lawyer's not getting hold of you. I thought you said the court wasn't getting hold of you. So your lawyer's not getting back to you.
yeah, the lawyer.
So you need to put in writing. Dear lawyer, I need to know today, when are you going to file the motion? I need it filed by the end of the week. If you're not going to be able to file it by the end of the week, please let me know and refund my money.
Okay. So do I
You
have
need
to
to,
use
you
the
need, you need to start building. You need to start building a paper record, because otherwise they're just going to ignore it. And so
Okay.
what you do is you turn up the temperature a little bit. First you ask nicely, then you ask mean and say, hey, I wrote you on Monday. I haven't heard back. If I don't hear back by Friday, I'm going to have to call the New York bar.
Okay. Sounds good. All right, that's it. Thank you.
Okay. Hey, bud, good luck. Legand is next. Hi, Legand.
Hi, James. Thank you so much for picking up my call.
How you doing?
Yes, I'm doing really well. So I'm a F1 student and living in the US for a long time, and I married a US citizen for 1 year and a half. So I already sent my paperwork to the immigration, and my interview is coming in the next couple of weeks around. So I have only one problem right now. I in the last year I told my wife, so since we have been married, we are married, so let's file the taxes together, everything. But she said no, because she already have kids. She has 2 or 3 kids. So she said that no, she's not going to file it together with me because of the benefits and stuff. If she is filing it alone, she is getting a lot than filing it jointly. So she decided to claim a head of household. But for me, I put on my paperwork marry but filing separately. But she said no, she put head of household. So I'm very confused right now. What will happen if we go for interview and then the immigration officer asks us about it? What should I say?
So from an immigration standpoint, a married couple, if they can, should always file jointly. She's hurting the immigration case by refusing to file jointly. You can't have it both ways. You can't tell the federal government on the one hand, we're married and we want an immigration benefit for Legan, but then on the other hand, well, we want to file separately so that I get more money back on my tax return. I think that's a problem.
Oh, so there's nothing I can really do, tell the immigration, because the problem is not on my hand, but it's on her hand. She
Well,
refused.
I'll tell you, it is your problem. Do you know why?
Uh-huh.
Do you know why it's your problem?
Yeah.
Because married couples, people who love each other, would want to put their marriage-based green card case ahead of taxes. That's why it's a problem. It actually makes your relationship look more like a business transaction and less like love. Like most spouses would take the hit on taxes, I think, or at least I think USCIS would think that most spouses would take the hit on taxes in order to help their spouse get a green card.
So either way, we have the same bank account, joint bank account, all the lease, insurance, everything we have been jointly, but only the tax return that she said no, she's
Yes.
not doing it.
So it sounds like you have other evidence, but in answer to your question, it doesn't help the case. That's all I can say. It just doesn't help the case.
Okay, okay. Okay, thank you so much.
Bye, Legan. See you,
Yeah,
bud.
okay. Mhm.
All right. Nosu's asking what's wrong with the Immigrant Home Facebook group. I don't know, Nosu. I just checked it. It's still there. So I don't know what the problem is. All right. So May is up next. Let's say hi to May. Hi, May.
Hey, Jim. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine. Go ahead.
Hi. So I called in a couple episodes ago,
Mm-hmm.
and I was telling you about my case because I'm supposed to be filing in the next 2 weeks or so to remove conditions from my green card.
Mm-hmm.
And I was telling you that I'm thinking of getting divorced.
Mm-hmm.
And I advised, I was asking your opinion, right? Like what you think would be the best case scenario. Like, should I do the divorce, then file the I-751, or should I just file jointly now with my,
I remember.
yeah. So I was thinking, like, if I wait, right? So if I wait to divorce first and then file the I-751, then that would kind of impact my work status because in July coming, my visa will be terminated, like the green card.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be expiring. So that means, I don't know, probably I won't be able to continue working anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't want that to happen. I really don't want that to happen. So,
Sure.
um,
So there's a middle ground. I think we talked about this, but I'll run it past you again, okay?
okay.
What you could do is you could file the 751 by yourself and file for divorce at the same time. So you would do that with the understanding that they're going to send you a request for evidence at some point in the future. But you get the 751 on file, so you get that extension letter so you can keep working. And then you're going to have to get the divorce done, I'd say within a year or so. Like you wouldn't want to wait around to file for divorce, but you would get the process started. You would keep from being under the thumb of your spouse, and you would just have to work as quickly as possible to get the divorce done for when they ask for it. They won't ask for it right away, and we've done this many times, and they've never said, well, you filed too early, you can only file when you're divorced. There's a rule that says you can only get the 751 on your own if you are divorced, but so far they haven't required that divorce to be completed when you file the 751, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So the thing is, like, we're just not getting along, right? And I try, he tries, but it's like we just can't, we're just not getting along, right? And um but he's willing to sign the I-751 jointly, but I just don't know if
Well,
he will
we
go
talked
off.
about that. We talked about that because there's problems with that approach because we don't know that we can rely on him. And
Yeah, but say I file it jointly still, right? And we don't get a divorce. Like it can go either way. We can like not get a divorce and come to a common grounds and just try to keep working on the marriage, or we could end up getting a divorce. But say in the future, if it does come down to the fact that we we are like, we say, okay, we're gonna get the divorce. Can I just do like a recall of the I-751 and like return, like put in a new one?
Yes,
Like, will
you
that
can.
affect anything?
You can, and I'm okay with that. I think we talked about this last time. I'm okay with that as long as we make it clear that there are problems with the marriage. Like we don't cover that up, right? Like I'd be very upfront about the fact that you're struggling. I actually think if you guys go to counseling or do things to try to make it better, that actually supports the 751, because if it's a fake marriage, then nobody would engage in counseling to try to save a fake marriage. So, with any good lawyer should be able to argue whatever happened. I mean, a 751 should always be able to be approvable unless there's something really fundamentally wrong with the marriage. Because if you do enough work, if you put in enough time, if you spend enough effort developing good evidence, you should be able to demonstrate that most marriages are legit as long as they are.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a fake marriage. We've been
Yeah,
together for
no, I
seven
believe you. No,
years.
I can tell.
It's
I can
just,
tell. I can tell by the way you're talking that it's real. I know you wouldn't have struggled with what to do so much if it weren't real. I get that.
yeah, like I don't necessarily want a divorce, but like my
Yeah.
husband is Muslim and he's like Muslim, like, and we talked about it before we got married about the converting and all of that stuff. And he
Yeah.
was okay at one point, and then all of a sudden he's not okay with me not converting anymore. So that is the issue, also, plus the
Sure.
fact that he just don't want to work. But yeah, so
I'm sorry. I'm sorry you're going through all this, May. I think your plan is fine. I'm okay with what you're saying, filing the 751 and then just seeing what happens.
yeah, okay. Well, thank you again.
All right. Good luck. Have a good Sunday. All right. All right. Angelina's here. Hi, Angelina.
Hi, Jim. First time on your show. How are
Well,
you?
welcome. Welcome. Thanks for coming.
Thank you. So, a little quick story. So, to make it easier, I was on an F1 student visa about 2 years ago, and then I did my OPT for a year. And during my OPT, I got married to my husband, and so we've been married for about a year now. So, I just got approved for work, which is really exciting this past week. Now that my card is coming, I can get my driver's license back. But I have a problem on that end. My passport, I am from Belarus. My Belarusian passport expired this past February. What do I do when I go get my driver's license? Because I think I need it, right?
No, you don't need a passport to get a driver's license.
Okay, because in the past I had a lot of problems with the Department of
What state?
Driving. They would say my visa was expired, so they wouldn't give me my driver's license. But that was a long time ago. So my passport is expired now. My old driver's license is expired now. What documents should I bring to make the process easier?
You're going to have to look at changes state by state. So once you have that work card, you're probably going to need your birth certificate, your old passport, probably proof of your current residence. I don't know. It depends on the state.
I'm in Georgia.
Yeah, so Georgia is probably a hard-ass state because it's usually a red state, so it's probably not nice. But the work card should be enough to carry over the day, and it'll probably be the driver's license will probably be as valid for as long as the work card's in process. I'd bring my 45 receipt and tell them I'm applying to adjust status.
Right.
But that should all be on the Georgia Secretary of State's website.
Okay. Well, hopefully it goes smoothly next week or whatever the card comes in.
Good luck.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Angelina. See ya. Bye-bye. Joe's here. What do you say, Joe?
How you doing, Mr. Hacking? You doing all right today?
I'm doing great, thanks.
So I got 3 quick questions. I was wondering if you can help me out. And I'm going to make it very simple for you. So let me see real quick. So you think a lawsuit is applicable in my parents' case? So my parents have came into the U.S. multiple times on multiple visas. They have abided by the provisions of the law. They went back. They stayed, every time they came in, they stayed for about a month and they went back. So they applied last year around, and they were put on administrative processing. And it has been the case for the past year. We're almost in May. Actually, no, in March. March is the time that they applied. And until now, I have inquired about 5 times. I've gone through the congressional office, and they told them that they're still under administrative processing. So on a B1, B2 visa, do you think a lawsuit is applicable?
No, there's no right to come to the United States.
So what is our options in terms of their administrative processing?
I think they just have to wait.
They'll just have to wait. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, in my mind, most visit visas are denied. When people get them, they're lucky. And once they get denied, then it's probably not going to happen anytime soon. I would let some dust settle and reapply maybe in a year or so. But just because you got visas renewed in the past and always follow the rules doesn't mean some jerk might not refuse to give you one the next time.
So if they apply again, they could possibly get approved depending on the officer?
Yeah. But I mean, in my experience, based on stories I've talked to people like your parents, is that once you get one denial, they sort of start stacking on each other. So I would wonder, what embassy is it?
The embassy in Erbil, Iraq. Sorry, it was the consulate in Erbil, Iraq.
Right. And are you a U.S. citizen?
No, I actually I just got granted asylum status.
Oh, okay. I mean, that could be part of it. You're now technically on a path to citizenship, right? So in 6 years, you could apply for citizenship, or 5 years, I should say. And so in theory, they could be worried that your parents are going to come and just hang out here, wait for you to become a citizen, and then file for a green card.
Yeah, because once we applied for them at the time, I was on authorized stay. But now me and my sibling got both approved just recently. And that had to go through a lawsuit too, both of us.
Yeah.
So I would assume that that's probably because of the reason. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
There is a petition for them through my uncle coming up. And right now they're close.
The priority date's coming current?
It's almost maybe 10 months from now, but with it going very slow, I think right now the visa bulletin just jumped. So I think it started to move again.
It did. Yeah. And, that might also be the thing. So they might have, obviously when your parents file their DS-160, they have to say, if anyone's filed an immigrant visa petition for them, they'd have to list that one from brother. And so as they're getting, I mean, technically, if they came on a visit visa and stayed for 6 months and the visa priority date continued to move, then in theory they could just stay here and file for 485s. It'd be risky, but people do it, so they might be not liking that either.
They can apply for 485 without the priority date coming in?
If they're here in the United States on a visit visa and the visa number became current while they were here,
okay,
they could apply for adjustment of status and not wait for the embassy to issue them an immigrant visa.
Yeah,
I would never tell someone to do that, but people do it.
They are never intending to stay here. They got a lot of work back home.
Yeah, but they don't believe that.
Right, I understand they don't believe that. But in terms of their visa comes in and that administrative processing becomes a trouble, we can file a lawsuit then, correct?
Yeah, and David made another point. Getting a visit visa when an immediate family member has claimed for asylum is very difficult. That's true too. I said it the other day to someone who had applied for asylum and her mom got denied a visa, that they might think they're coming here to apply for asylum. That's a whole other reason. So it's like 3 strikes, you're out.
But the thing is, they came in multiple times and they left. So they showed proof. Okay, I see what you're saying. All right. So point one is done.
Both things can be true.
Okay. And then for one question, I don't know if you came into that. So for the I-485 on the I-94 section where I have to fill it out, do I fill that when I came in as a student, that I-94 when I crossed the border, or the new I-94 number that the asylum office provided me?
The new one. Okay.
And then what about the expiration date?
The expiration date?
Do I put non-applicable?
Yeah.
Okay. And then one last question. I know that the green card through asylum or in general USCIS have been inflating numbers in terms of timing. If I were to apply for the green card and it takes 18 months, I think I heard you once say, are we still able to apply for a lawsuit?
Sure. Especially if you had to file one for your asylum itself. Yes.
So even if it's before the 40 months that they claim?
Oh, I don't listen to those stupid process. I don't listen. I never consider those stated processing times when I figure out whether or not to file a lawsuit. I don't
And
listen.
then have you had cases in this scenario where you filed a lawsuit for a green card through asylum and it's below the target date?
From Iraq, yeah, many.
And they all got approved, I'm assuming?
They did.
So how many months after applying do you suggest filing if we didn't hear anything?
I'm cool with 18.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's all I got. Thank you very much, Mr. Hacken.
Especially for someone that had to file a suit before, Joe.
So because I'm wondering, because why do you think because I filed a lawsuit that I probably need another one?
Because I've probably had 10 cases for people where I filed a lawsuit for their green card and then had to apply for their citizenship, or I had to file a lawsuit for their asylum and then I had to file a lawsuit for their green card. In other words, they don't learn their lesson.
I see. And on what basis, if you don't mind me asking?
What basis of what?
Of the lawsuit will be? Is it because of the 180-day statute or
reasonable time?
But they couldn't fight back and say the reasonable time is 40 months?
They do, but they don't. They do it. They only do that in about 4 or 5% of the cases. They could do that, but they usually don't.
But a Christian from Iraq, probably not.
Well, Christians from Iraq, they probably don't even believe you're Christian. So, you know what I'm saying? They just don't believe in anything.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you for your time.
You got it.
Appreciate it.
Bye, Joe. All right. Well, that was a nice call. Everybody, let me know. I see some people letting me know where they're watching from. Let's see. Dami's watching from Montreal. We have T Travels up in upstate New York. Trevor's watching from Jamaica. Thank you, Trevor. Carlene saying good day to you, Jim. Thank you. We got Syracuse, New York, Brooklyn. We really need an office in New York, man. Hopefully everyone remembers the time I was walking down 8th Avenue and this van came running across from one side, they're one-way streets, and dude comes flying over and he and his buddy jump out of the van, and I thought, oh my God, I'm getting kidnapped. But they jumped out and they said, Mr. Jim, YouTube. Like, they spoke very little English, but they knew me from YouTube in New York. So we really need an office in New York. Plus, I love going to New York. I love having interviews in New York. I love going to shows in New York. And of course, I love the Jets. We really need an office in New York. Check this out. Carla's watching on the bus in the south of Portugal. That's pretty crazy. We got Minnesota. We of course, in Florida. We got Salt Lake City. Bustavi's here. Big Guys Live. What's up, Jim? Chicago. Shabir's in New York, of course. It's great. It's good seeing everybody. Carolyn says in New Jersey, parking sucks. Well, I'm glad we know that now. Optimus Prime is in Chicago. The Transformers are assembling. Sheldon's here. We got Texas. There's people talking about salaries in Long Island. I don't know what that's about. We got York, Pennsylvania, and Guyana, Switzerland, and California. I think North Laura's here too, so that would be Seattle. And Juli's watching from Argentina. Juli, go do something fun, man. You got to listen to this stuff all day long anyway. Go do something fun, man. I hope you're having fun. We got India, North Dakota. Wow, that's great. Good to see it. All right, let's say hi. Oh, we got Brooklyn. Let's say hi to Denicius. Hi, Denicius.
Hi, Jim. How you doing today?
I'm well. How are you doing?
Ramadan Mubarak.
Thanks. Thank you.
I have a question. And R3160, if you file R3160, do you get a receipt notice?
Mm-hmm.
Without the R485?
Yeah, you should get a receipt for the 360.
Because I was told, like, somebody asked me to ask this question there. You do not get receipt notice for R360 because it doesn't require filing fees. You only get receipt notice when you file together with the R485.
I honestly, I'm not 100% sure because I don't do those filings. So, but I think you do get a receipt for the 360.
Oh, okay. All right. That's it. Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Nisha. See you, bud. All right. Let's say hi to Arzu. Arzu, are you with us?
Yeah. Hello, sir. How are you doing?
Great. I'm great.
I called you a couple episodes ago, if you
Yep,
remember.
I do.
Yeah, I have a couple questions.
Go
I'm
for it.
from Afghanistan. Yeah, I'm from Afghanistan, and I come from Afghanistan, and I
Uh-huh.
have a stamp on my passport as a parolee.
Yep.
And when I came here, I'm a child under child 21, and I apply for adjustment of status. When I was in the base, I leave the base and I didn't get any card, like any IDs like they give to other people's, like my social security and work permit, and still I don't have anything. When I came here and I apply for adjustment of status, when I apply for adjustment of status, at the same time I didn't apply for my work permit, because and now I apply for my work permit as a parolee status. Okay.
Got it.
Yeah. Is it effect on my green card status now?
No, that's fine.
Okay. Okay. And my second question is, thank you. My second question is, when I'm going to on my USCIS online account, and I sent some message to some officer and ask about my question, will they get mad?
No, honey. No, they won't get mad. That's fine. Go ahead.
Okay. And my last question is, thank you so much. My last question is, when I'm checking my case status online, that's since June to now, that's the same thing. Like June 2022, they ask about the request for evidence, and I sent back to them, and that's the same thing. And yesterday I go to my um, I go to my online account, and I see at the corner there is something new. There is write something like they take market, and there is wrote like receive response receive for on April 7, 2023. We will review your evidence. What does that mean?
So it sounds like they finally got around to reviewing your response to the request for evidence.
Yay! How many long it takes? Can you tell me how long it takes if they will send me back?
What was in the RFE? What they asked for?
They ask about the tax, like the sponsorship.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so that shouldn't take too long. I think you're in good shape. It sounds like things are moving.
Okay, and I did my medical in Kabul. Will they ask about the medical again or not?
They might.
Okay, because that's not expired yet.
Yeah, but they might.
Okay.
They might not.
Okay, thank you so much. Have a good day.
Bye, Arzu. See ya. You're doing a great job. Keep going.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Hey, everybody. We got good news. Something came in the mail today, and it wasn't D's nuts. It was Sheldon's green card. The green card is here. Look at that. Sheldon got the green card. It finally came. We were very happy, Sheldon. Everyone knows Sheldon. Sheldon's been here for a long time. Everyone's wishing Sheldon thanks and congratulations. Everyone's happy for you. That is good news. So we're always happy to celebrate a win when something good happens. All right. So tomorrow we're going to have a new video release from the firm. So about a month ago, we got a new fellow named Nick who's helping me out on video, and we're going to try to start doing some new things. So we're going to try to do some client success stories and to do stuff other than just the live show and just my standalone videos. We're building a little studio down on the first floor of the office, and Nick and I, his name's Nick. Nick and I went out and interviewed my friend Fahim Ahmed. Fahim is a Afghan who's been here for a really long time. Well before the war. He came here as a teenager, I think right after the Soviets left Afghanistan, and he and his brother Qayyum have a great restaurant in the city of St. Louis called Samim's. It serves Afghan food, and so we have a video for you tomorrow of me talking to him at the restaurant about the food. I think you're going to like it. I'll be interested to get your feedback as we try to highlight many of the contributions that great immigrants are doing, that people are doing all over the country. Hey, look, I got one right. You do get receipts for I-360. I thought so because I've seen them before, so I know that they issued them. I don't know where that was all coming from. Happy for Sheldon. Sending good vibes to Rocio. Rocio's waiting for her N400 interview. Anyway, I'm going to talk now to Ahmed. Hi, Ahmed.
Hi, Jim. How are you?
Good, buddy. How you doing?
I'm doing okay. Thank you so much. I was with you a couple months ago. If you
Cool.
remember, I filed the case through EB3 through sponsorship through my employer,
Cool.
and I got my I-140 approved, and then I filed my 485 and in August, and I got just a couple of days ago I got a message change of status that interview was rescheduled.
Mm-hmm.
So I know it's a good thing. I just want your feedback.
So you never received a notice that there wasn't an interview scheduled. You just got a notice that it was rescheduled.
Yes.
Yeah, that's weird. That shouldn't happen. Where do you live? Like where?
Atlanta.
Atlanta?
Yeah. The my case was in, I think, office called Spokane.
Spokane?
Yeah.
So Washington. So you mean the notice that you got for the interview was the notice that said it was rescheduled came from Spokane?
Yeah, they said that they sent the case to Atlanta office and the interview was rescheduled. That's what I see on the case status.
So all I think, Ahmed, that you can take from all that is they're working on your case. That's all. That's the only conclusion I can draw from there. Anything else is just guessing.
Okay. From just last question, I know that interviews through work was like waived. So is that like put some question marks on that?
It's not always waived. It's sometimes waived. It's oftentimes waived, but it's not always waived. So I don't think you have to read too much into the fact that you might be getting an interview, and even the fact that the interview was rescheduled. That might mean you're not having an interview at all. You can't read too much into any of that stuff.
Okay, so it should be a good thing. Hopefully,
things are moving.
Yep. Thank you so much, Jim.
Bye, Ahmed. See you, buddy. All right, Patrick's here. What do you say, Patrick?
Can I turn off the camera?
Yeah, sure. What's up?
I'm good. How are you doing, Jim?
I'm well, thanks. Thank you, Patrick.
I'm good. I have like 2 questions. Oh, I came to America as an asylee, as a refugee, October 2018. But I was in Kenya. I had my girlfriend. Then we had a kid together. She's 4 now. So, but by that time we didn't like wanted to stay together. So I didn't file for her for that long time. So then now I've been living here now I'm almost 5 years. Although I went back for 50 days to see her. Now I was asking like which is the best option? Should I file the fiance visa or should I go and get married to her? And which is the best option should I use?
So you have your citizenship?
No, I'm not a citizen yet. I have a green card.
Okay, so you can't do a fiance if you're not a citizen. So you'd have to get married.
So the thing is, I'm supposed to apply the citizen for around August or July. That's when I can apply for citizenship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what I would do is I would go get married now. I'd file now as the spouse of a green card holder, and then if and when you get your citizenship, then upgrade it. But you need to get that process is going to be so damn slow to get her here. You should have started that a long time ago. So you need to get married. And now the one interesting thing is that you might think about. So you and she have a kid together?
Yeah, we have a kid together. Yeah, she's 4.
So I need you to understand something for me. Okay, pay attention.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you file right now as a green card holder, again, you have to be married. You can't do fiance. If you do that, you can include the kid for free on mom's I-130, right?
Yeah.
But if you become a citizen, before mom and the kid are in the United States, then kid's case gets kicked off mom's case, and you have to file a new I-130. So you'll hear people on this show about once a month or twice a month say, "Oh, Jim, I really screwed up. I shouldn't have gotten my citizenship so fast," right? So you really need to think this through about what you want to do and what's most important. So, I mean, I'd be focusing on getting them here as fast as I can. I mean, citizenship cases, the spouses of citizens do tend to get here a little faster from green card holder spouses, especially now that the priority dates are going backwards. But either way, you can't do anything till you're married. And I hate fiance cases. I'm down on fiance cases right now. So even if you were a citizen right now, I would suggest that you go get married.
So I should go get married, then that's the, people will be telling me that fiance is easiest.
That's bullshit. That's not true anymore. And the State Department slows down fiance cases. They're at the bottom of the pile. And sometimes they revoke them saying that they expired. So there's like 10 reasons why I don't like fiance cases right now. So again, I think you should get married. I know it's a pain. I know you got to go over there, but you get to see your kid and see your wife, and then that's just going to make it better.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, buddy. Bye, Patrick.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, buddy. All right. Optimus Prime has joined us. Hello, Optimus.
Hi, Jim.
How you doing?
I'm well. Good to be on here. I always follow, and thank you for the good work you're doing.
Sure.
I filed a marriage-based green card last year, November. I did my biometrics in December. I just got recently approved for the work authorization. Should come in the week.
So like 5 or 6 months?
Yes, I think about 5 months.
Okay.
So the thing is this, I just wanted to get your insight on my immigration history. I've been to I first came to the US in 2016, and I went back home. I had no intention of staying. The second time, it wasn't like I had intention of staying too, but I mean, it happened. Got married to someone previously, that didn't work out. Then got married again last year. Going great now. Everything is going fine. The second marriage, I filed based on the second marriage. But on 2 occasions that I entered the US, I was pulled into secondary inspection. So I suppose that's good. Nothing. I give them all they wanted, all the information, everything, queried me and all that. But I suppose that might come up in the interview. You think?
So so you've always entered on a B1, B2?
Yeah, correct. I'm from Nigeria.
Ever had any other kind of visa?
No, that's the only one.
And you said you're from Nigeria?
Yes.
Were you ever married in Nigeria?
No, not at all. So a brief history on that. I first filed a non-immigrant visa. My dad, when he was alive, contracted someone, filed a non-immigrant visa on my behalf. This was like years ago. So the individual at the time, in my form, indicated that I was married.
Yep.
But I went to the interview. Of course, I didn't get the visa. So on my second interview for this visa, the second B1, B2, I took time to explain to the officer. I told him I wasn't married. I tried to clear up the initial misrepresentation on the first one that wasn't completed by me. He asked me, he said, did I fill the form myself? I said, no. I said it was filled by a third party. So he said, by third party, you mean like an agent? I said, yes. So he asked me again, are you married? I said, no, I'm not. I mean, at the time in the second. So I think I was able to clear that up in the second interview. But
you cleared it up for the State Department, but we haven't cleared it up for USCIS yet.
Yes. So I'm supposing all of those things will come up at the interview. Would that be correct to assume that will come up?
Yeah. So you need to very quickly do a Freedom of Information Act request from the State Department. And you need to get a copy of the old DS-160s. They're not going to believe that I've actually had this exact case. It was Israel, not Nigeria, but this exact case. They're not going to believe that you told the second officer the truth.
Okay.
So this is a huge problem for you, and the problem manifests itself in a couple different ways. And they play different kinds of tricks. One trick they say is, okay, we believe you now that you lied, but now you have a misrepresentation in your past, and so you need to get a waiver to get your green card based on your current marriage. That's one trick. But the worst trick is this one. Let's just say that agent put down that Optimus Prime was married to Mary quite contrary, and then they say, okay, Optimus, you need to get us a divorce decree from you and Mary, and they're like, and you're like, there's no such person, and they're like, tough shit. You got to get a divorce decree, or we can't approve this I-130. That's the big problem.
Okay, well, I did explain all of this to my lawyer, and he did mention something about a waiver and all of that. But I was very clear and explicit. But I mean, following you, I just wanted to.
But you want to do everything you can to avoid that waiver. You want to try to win at the State Department or at the USCIS if you can. You don't. Getting a waiver is a big pain. It's going to take 2 more years for you to get your green card, and you might not get it. So just saying casually, yeah, well, we'll get you a waiver and deal with it later. That's not the right way to do this. The right way to do this is to try to track down every single thing that happened and make the case as strong as possible, and perhaps get a certificate for you from Nigeria that says Optimus was never married in Nigeria ever. Like, if you're going to need a lawyer in Nigeria to help you with this. This is a big old mess.
Okay, I mean, I can start working on that. I mean, I'm glad I talked to you because I also want to mention I have a copy of my first DS-160.
That's what I want. Yeah. What does it say?
I have a copy of both DS-160.
Okay, that's good.
I have a copy of both. I always save my documents.
Good. That's important. I have one other question. The wife in America #1, did she file an immigration benefit for you?
Not at all.
Okay. So how long were you married?
It was for less than a year, to be fair. It was really bad. She threatened me. So I was like, no, I don't want to deal with. In fact, a statement to me was like, I know people can make people disappear. So that's
what she said?
Yeah. So at the time I was like, no, I'm not gonna, stay with this individual. So
do you have any, if we wanted like quick and dirty proof that she was a bad person, do you have anything other than your testimony?
No, I mean, nothing, but my only approach is just when something gets too hard, I just like, but I did, in fact, the divorce proceeding, she didn't show up, but I made sure to email her when I wanted to file a letter. I have a copy of the email her like, listen, this is not working out. I think we should just end it and move on with our lives and all that. The lawyer, then the divorce lawyer, filed the case, sent her, all the paperwork. She never showed up. I went to court, got everything, I have a copy of all those, documents.
Right.
So,
well, I mean, that's the least of our concerns right now. The whole shooting match is going to be the DS-160s.
Okay. So you're advising that I should get a request for my copy of my file.
Well, if you already have your DS-160s, that's really what I want, but it's free. It never hurts to get it. You might not get it before your interview, but it doesn't hurt to ask for it.
I have a copy for myself, but the ones, if I'm going to request for it, will it come with like their comments or reasons or whatever?
That's why you would do it. There might be something in there. Yeah, because if you could somehow prove that you told that officer that on the
I remember everything I said. I remember the whole thing.
Yeah, but they're not going to believe you.
It's okay. I'll start working on everything.
I like how chill you are.
I mean, you have to. I keep thinking about it in my head. I just like to cover all the bases.
Yeah.
Because when I go to the interview, I want to be able to show up and just tell the story from the beginning. Even up till the secondary inspection in, I think it was in Abu Dhabi. The second time I was coming, I had another secondary inspection, and the officer was very mean and discriminatory. He stamped me only for a month on my second visit, but somehow someone fell sick on the flight back to the US, so we had to make a stop at Iceland. So that means we needed to go over the security check again. So when I got to New York, the officer in New York now changed it to 6 months. My stay for 6 months. That's on my second week. But the guy in Abu Dhabi was very mean. The only thing he didn't do was pat me down. Every other thing he was asking questions. I'm like, no, I'm just, I had my reasons for coming. I mean, we can go over all of that, but that's just a brief summary of, my immigration history up until this.
Thanks, buddy. Keep us
Yeah,
posted. Let me know how it
thank you.
goes. See you, man. All right. That was Optimus Prime. Going from we're having rhyming here. We're going from Optimus Prime to Just in Time. Just in Time, are you with us?
Hi Jim, how are you doing?
I'm well. How are you doing? Are you there?
Can you hear me?
Now I can. Go ahead. Something's up with the audio.
Yes.
Go
Can you
ahead.
hear me now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, let's say Jane has a interview at embassy through her adult child, U.S. citizen, born in U.S. And she's concerned about questions like why was the kid born there? Is that reasonable questions to expect?
Wait, so who's the petitioner in the United States? A kid that was born in the United States?
Yes.
And now, like 21 years later, the mom is going to an interview at the embassy.
Yes.
And they're wondering, am I going to get beat up for flying to the United States on a visit visa because I gave birth to a kid in the United States?
Yes. There are reasons behind it, but
that's a great question.
Yeah.
That's a great question, and it's something I haven't ever thought about before. But I guess to me, one, I'd like to hear those reasons if I'm the officer, and two, I think a lot of it's going to depend on the timing. Like, if the person landed and gave birth a day later, that's one thing. If the person landed and gave birth 5 months and 2 weeks later, I think that's different. What's the scenario?
No, it's like three months later.
3 months. So they knew they were pregnant when they came through.
Yes.
Can they prove that they had other valid reasons besides having the kid here?
Oh yeah, she actually went. Her aunt have breast cancer.
Yeah.
And she wanted to go and spend. She was very helpful to her during school, so she wanted to go and support her because if she waits the longer she waited, then the probability of being able to go would be getting close to zero, especially after the child is born. So there'd be no chance of traveling.
I guess the $1 million question is, when you came to the United States, did you intend to stay here and have your kid?
No, that was the intent.
So that's what she's going to have to prove up. That's the $1 million question.
Okay. Yeah, I think that can be, well, I suppose based on the scenarios that's presented.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Thanks.
All right, Jim. Take care.
Yeah.
One other question.
Yeah.
If you have like that situation where that I-130 is out into the embassy processing, can that one be used to do adjustment of status?
If the person's in the United States on a visit visa?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, this person already has so much shenanigans with visit visas. I don't know that you want to highlight it again by trying that.
Okay. Well, so but would you be able to use that? Can you use that to do adjustment if just hypothetical?
You're saying if a U.S. citizen files for their mother and the I-130 gets approved and gets sent over for processing at the State Department, and then mom happens to come on a visit visa, can mom apply for adjustment based on that approved I-130? That's the question?
Yes.
The answer to that question is yes.
Anything to consider, or just do the 485 and whatever else?
Yeah, they would file the 45 and everything else, but again, you have to worry about intent. And if they already have a big intent question by having come here and given birth to a 21-year-old child, they might piss off the officer by being cute again with how they enter and what they do after they enter. That's my concern.
Yeah, well, but that wouldn't be an issue at all if it's an adjustment, right? So
yeah, no, it is an issue. I'm saying, why wouldn't that be an issue? Immigrant intent, if you come on a non-immigrant visa, you're not supposed to come and apply for a green card.
No, not that. I'm talking the first part, the child being born. I don't think that would be.
Yeah, that would be they would go. They might go into that too.
Okay, but it can be done. No, you can just adjust based on that.
It
Okay.
can be done, but as I often say, just because you can do something doesn't mean you should.
That's true. But of course, it's good to know what.
Oh, hold
you
on a
know, what
second.
you
Abel
do.
asked a really good question, and this is actually something that comes up. Good question, Abel. Did she pay her hospital bill? That's a huge thing. So when people come and give birth to a kid, not only do they jump the line and get their kid citizenship, but then sometimes they don't pay their bill, and that
Yeah,
can
that
also be a big problem.
that wasn't a problem.
Great. Okay, thanks, Justin Time, and thanks, Abel, for that good question.
All right.
Yep. All right, let's see what Prince has to say. Hi, Prince.
Hi, Jim.
How are you
I have
doing?
a quick. I'm doing great. How about you?
Great, thank you.
I have a quick question. I was denied a visa under the section 212 A6C 1, and that was like 10 years back. It was proud to my marriage where my wife won the visa lottery, and then we were trying to go together. That before she won the lottery, we were just dating. It was after some time that we got married, and then we got to know she has won the lottery, so we decided to go together. And through the process and everything, I was denied a visa, and that marriage didn't work many years ago. And I'm currently married, which my then fiance, who is my wife now, is a legal U.S. Citizen. She filed for a K1 visa for me, and then I think I went through the interview process and with everything, and the consulate was like, "He's sorry, he cannot give me the visa, and he's not denying me based on my current application, but my application in 2012." So I was a little confused because I knew the interview process was smooth, and I had no issues with answering the questions and then, I mean, getting through the whole process. So I came back to do a couple of research. Then I got to realize that I need to file for a waiver.
Right.
And through that, I think my wife is actually in the process of filing for a spouse visa. And I wanted to know if we have to file for the spouse visa, and then if it get approved, then we file for the waiver, or we need to have the waiver done by an immigration attorney for us.
Well, so I want to back up a couple. I have a couple questions. Okay. What was the
Mhm.
misrep back in 2012? What was the misrep about? Was it about marriage or was it about something else?
Yeah, I think it was about the marriage. The consulate, however, thought our marriage was illegal.
Okay, so how many times have you been married? Twice or three times?
Yeah, twice.
Twice. Okay. So
Yeah.
back in 2012, when you got hit with the misrepresentation, the 212, what was the case that was pending at that time? I don't understand. Was it a marriage case?
Um. Uh. I think it was right after the interview
But what
that
kind of case was it? Interview for what? For a visit visa, for a
uh,
spouse visa, or what?
no, it was a diversity visa.
Oh, diversity. So 2012 was the diversity visa case, and now there's
Yeah,
this new case, and those are the two marriages.
yeah.
Okay, so what country are you from?
From Ghana.
Ghana. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So back in 2012, you married someone who had won the diversity visa, and then you got hit with a misrepresentation. What was the misrepresentation about? What did they say you were lying about?
Uh, Throughout the interview process, my wife actually we don't really stay together because from where she works, we were like a little away from me, so she often come home like in weekend, and then
So
like we
they,
spend
they
some
thought
time.
they thought this was a fake add-on where
Yeah,
somebody wins the
yeah,
diversity visa and then they just marry this random dude who might have paid her to get her a green card to come to the United
yeah,
States. Got
yeah.
it. Okay. All right. So now you're married to a U.S. citizen. No, now you're engaged to a U.S. citizen, right?
No, we currently married because after my last interview for the K1 visa, and I didn't work because we had a plans to get married in the state. But because it didn't go as according to plan, she had to come down here, and then we got married here in Ghana. So we actually married right now.
Got it. And so, okay, now I understand. So, in answer to your question, here's how it will go. She will file the I-130 petition. USCIS, if they agree that the marriage is valid, they'll approve the I-130. Then they'll send it to the National Visa Center. Then you'll show up at the interview, and they'll say, "Hey, Prince, we remember you. You've got that misrep from back in 2012." And then at that point, you'll file the waiver. Now, Rocio gave the exact right answer in the comments. She's right about everything, including this last part. You should start working on it. So even though you can't file it now, I mean, first of all, yes, in answer to your question, your immigration history is so complicated that you need a lawyer to help you with the I-130 and then with the NVC and then the waiver. But then there's things you can do to start establishing the hardship, because you're going to have to show that it's a hardship for your wife to not let you come to the United States. And it has to be more hardship than people that are separated. It has to be exceptional hardship. So you can start working on that now. If she's seeing a counselor or if she's having money problems, you need to start documenting it now, so that when the time comes a year and a half from now for the waiver, you have a year and a half's worth of evidence. You're not just getting evidence right then when you file the waiver. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And James, she's actually working on the I-130 right now. So I wanted to know, is it okay for her to, work on the waiver as well, or we have to get an immigration attorney to?
I think you should have a
do
lawyer
that
for the
for
whole.
us?
I think you should have a lawyer for the whole thing.
Okay. Because we were talking and I was telling her we might need a lawyer, but she was like, the fact that she could get through with the K1 process and she did it all by herself and everything was successful, only for them to deny me at the interview. And looking at the cost of money involved and everything, she wanna do it on her own. So
Well,
I needed.
if it's a purely money play, then yes, the play would be do the I-130. Hopefully, don't do anything to screw it up later, and then save the money for the waiver. But either way, I don't think someone without a lawyer under these facts is going to be able to pull off the waiver without the lawyer. And I also think I would be tracking down everything that happened. I would try to get the records from 2012 from USCIS and or the State Department and see what you can find out.
Okay. I'll be very grateful, Jim.
Yeah, Prince, just let us know whenever you're ready for our help.
All right. Thanks, Jim.
Bye, buddy.
You.
See ya.
Bye.
Well, we love Ghana. Prince is in for a long process. David's right. Prince is in for a long process. We love Ghana. We love Nigeria. I want to come to Ghana for sure. My friend Evelyn Aka's on her way there with her kids. I want to go to Ghana and see. Now, Big Name is waving very fast. So I guess we have to go to Big Name. And then after that, that'll probably be the last one. What do you say, Big Name?
Hi, Jim. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. So I have very, very quick 3 questions for you. So number one, I came to the United States in 2021, and after about 6 months, I got married and I filed for the adjustment of status, and I got my biometrics three weeks after I filed, and then the day of the biometrics, it's changed to cases being actively reviewed, and that same day, I called USCIS to expedite my EAD because my wife, she was having some knee problems and she needed some surgery. And after about 2-3 times, it got approved. So call it roughly about 2 months after I filed, I got my EAD. So I started working and I got my social security number, my driver's license, I got everything. And ever since then, it's just been on cases being actively reviewed for the past like 12-13 months now. So just 2 weeks ago, I was just on the USCIS website, just playing around, and I just put in a service request for my case.
Yeah.
And 3 days later, I received an email from the Montgomery field office that my case, that everything is okay, that's due to high volumes of applications, that they are working to get adjudicated. And 2 days after that, I received an email for an RFE, right? So I tracked it down on my account on USCIS, and it's for the medical, So I was just trying to know, do you think everything is looking good?
Everything looks great. You're doing great.
Yes. So, big number one, I'm from Nigeria, and I watch your shows, and you say if you're from Nigeria, you need help. So, I made sure when I was filing, like, we were just married for about 2 months when I applied, but I overwhelmed them with evidence, lease, insurance. Even when I didn't even have no EAD, no social, I was on her insurance, bank accounts, pictures, affidavits from all her brothers and sisters, hotel reservations,
Hold on,
basketball
hold on,
games,
hold on, hold on,
pictures.
hold on, hold on, hold on. So it sounds like you've got lots of good evidence, but to me, the Nigerian issue always comes down to prior marriages. So and the visa that was obtained to come to the United States. That's always the big deal. So tell me about that. When you came on a visit visa,
No, I came on an F1 visa.
and were you single when you got your F1 visa?
Yes, yes. I've never been married, and it was just my first time applying for a visa, any
So
kind
you're
of
good.
visa.
You're good.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
but hold on. But when I came to America, I had problems, and I didn't finish college. I didn't go to the college.
Did you start and not finish, or did you never go?
I started for just 2 weeks, and I couldn't continue.
Why?
Uh, but so that was like 2021. COVID was just they were just lifting the ban, and my mom had problems with her business, and I couldn't foot the tuition and all of that. But the good news is, right now, I work in a nuclear power plant, and right now my company, are sending all of us for right now. I take some courses, for some colleges, and
Yeah,
it's
but
just like
that's not. It's not important whether you get a degree or not. The important part is whether you honestly believed you were going to go to the school and then just couldn't go because of something changed. But you had just told the embassy that you had enough money to support yourself, and then if you come and 2 weeks later you suddenly don't, they're going to call bullshit on that and say that you just did it to get in the United States.
Yeah, so I was when I met my wife, we were but just before my I-120 my service record was terminated. I was in contact with my DSO in the school, trying to my wife, she was trying to look for a cheaper as a cheaper community college, for me to transfer. We were in communication, because they were keeping me in the loop, telling me, hey, your service, if you don't complete this, your service record is going to go out in 4 weeks, in 6 weeks. So we
Yeah,
were in
hold on.
communication with them.
That's a double-edged sword. Now you're telling me things I don't like. Do you know what you just told me? You just told me that you knew the person you're now married to when you came on your F1.
No, I knew her 1 week after I came here.
Yeah,
That's when I met her, and we didn't, and we were just friends. We were just talking, and she was
how'd you
wanting
meet
to
her?
help me out. She was just so it was a tragic situation when I arrived the United States. I was to go to school in Ohio, so I mean, I didn't know about America at that time. So I asked my DSO that I'm about to when I was still in Africa, I'm trying to buy the flight ticket. I can't see no international flights to land me in Ohio. Where is the closest airport? She told me, okay, you can get New York, you can get Philadelphia, she was just telling me places close to Ohio, and then how I'll be picked up. So I landed in JFK airport, and I didn't know nothing about America. So when I came out from the terminal, I all this touts by the airport, doing taxis and Lyft. I just entered one to take me to the nearest train station, and he robbed me. He was an armed robber. He robbed me at gunpoint and took all my money. I was with about $5,000 cash in my pocket. He took everything. He took advantage of me because he knew it was my first time. He was asking me, "Oh, your first time? How you gonna like it here?" I don't know, those kind of things. And he robbed me, took everything, and I didn't have my phone didn't have service because the phone that I brought from Africa is my African service. I
Right.
couldn't call 911. I was helpless, and she was in New York that time. She was on vacation, and I was just by the road after he pulled me off the car, took everything, and that was how I met the first day of landing in America.
I'm
It's
sorry.
kind of
That's quite a
complicated.
story, Big Name. I got to get going. The show, we're past time. Okay, buddy. You got any more questions for me?
Yeah, okay. My last question is, so I work in a nuclear power plant. So I know that immigration, they ask questions like, have you ever been in any group or in any
Organizations,
nuclear facilities. Yeah, nuclear facilities. So is that gonna be like a problem?
No.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's just about it.
All right. So just real quick, a couple people commented, and I tend to agree with them. You seem like a very nice fellow. I think you and I would have fun together hanging out, but you can't talk this much when you go to immigration. You need to give really short answers. Don't tell these long stories.
Okay. Yeah, I will. I mean, hopefully they won't call me for an interview, because when they send me an RFP for medical, so.
Yeah, but Nigeria, I can almost guarantee they're calling you for an interview.
Oh, okay.
All right. Thanks, man. See ya.
All right.
All right, everybody. That'll do it for today's show. Hoolie's here. She's wishing everybody a good Sunday. She's here when she's not here. How about that? Thank you, Hoolie. We'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow's show will be at 4 p.m. Central. 4 p.m. Central. How about that? And I got it scrolling along the bottom right underneath your name, Hoolie. How about that? So episode 356 will be tomorrow at 4 p.m. Central. Peace out. Have a good rest of the weekend. Bye, guys.